They told you to eat nuts. Doctors recommend them. Food companies market them as heart healthy. Magazines call them a super snack. But what no one is telling you is this: if you're over 65, the wrong nut could be quietly destroying your circulation, clogging your arteries, and inflaming your joints, one handful at a time. The global nut industry is worth over $100 billion, and its profit depends on selling you the illusion of health. And while your doctor tells you to eat more walnuts, the companies cash in on your decline. Through glossy packaging, heart-check symbols, and paid-for research, they've convinced millions of seniors to eat nuts daily. Even though many of those nuts are roasted in toxic oils, loaded with inflammatory fats, and processed so aggressively they lose most of their nutrients before they hit the bag. Behind the scenes, companies rake in billions while your blood pressure rises, your knees swell, and your memory slips, because no one ever told you which nuts are actually hurting you. Here's the truth: not all nuts are created equal. Some strengthen your heart, support your brain, and keep your legs strong. But others? They spike inflammation, block mineral absorption, and trigger silent conditions like sarcopenia, insulin resistance, and accelerated artery damage. In this video, we will reveal the 4 nuts you must never touch after 65 and the 4 you absolutely must eat daily if you want to stay sharp, mobile, and independent. These will be revealed in descending order of importance and danger. They don't want you to know this. The nut industry depends on seniors staying confused and inflamed. But not after today. Every single reference is linked in the description below. Before we dive in, tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? We're reading and replying to every single one. Now, without any further ado, let's start with the 4 nuts you must never touch again. Starting with number 4, a nut you've eaten this week that's flooding your joints with inflammation like diesel fuel on a fire. Number 4, macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts sound luxurious. They're buttery, creamy, and often sold in fancy packaging as a heart-healthy treat. But for seniors, especially over 65, they're one of the most misleading foods on the shelf. While they do contain healthy fats, macadamias are extremely high in omega-6 fatty acids, and when those omega-6s aren't balanced with enough omega-3s, that can lead to chronic low-grade inflammation, which slowly wears down your joints, blood vessels, and even brain tissue. A 2021 study in the Journal of Nutrition and Aging found that seniors with a high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio had a 74% higher risk of cognitive decline over a 3-year period. That's not something a handful of nuts should be triggering. Meet Patricia, 70. She started snacking on macadamia nuts every afternoon when she went on a low-carb diet. They felt clean and filling, she said. But after a few months, she noticed her knees were aching more, her brain felt slower in conversations, and her cholesterol panel came back with elevated LDL and triglycerides. Her nutritionist reviewed her food log and pointed out the imbalance. Tons of omega-6 fats from macadamias, but barely any omega-3s to neutralize the inflammation. So Patricia cut them out and added flax, walnuts, and a little wild-caught salmon to her weekly meals. Within weeks, her energy came back, her thoughts felt sharper, and even her joint stiffness eased up. Macadamias might be fine in small doses for younger, more active people, but for older adults whose circulatory systems are already more vulnerable, loading up on high-fat, low-nutrient nuts like these can tip the scales in the wrong direction. And because they're calorie-dense but low in protein and fiber, they can also sneak in unwanted weight gain, which only makes joint stress worse. Macadamias may be smooth and satisfying, but for seniors trying to stay sharp, mobile, and pain-free, there are far better choices. But this next one? It's eaten by millions every day, and it's quietly robbing your bones of what they need most. Number 3. Cashews. They're creamy, addictively tasty, and often show up in snack packs labeled smart choices. But for seniors, cashews are a hidden metabolic nightmare. While they may look innocent, cashews are high in oxalates, a compound that binds to calcium and blocks it from being absorbed in your body. That's a huge problem after 65, when bone density is already dropping fast. In fact, a study in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research found that calcium absorption drops by over 30% after age 60, even in people who eat enough calcium. And oxalates? They make that problem even worse. Cashews also pack a heavy dose of phytic acid, which interferes with magnesium and zinc absorption, two minerals essential for heart rhythm, circulation, and memory. Meet Arthur, 73. He switched from salty snacks to cashews thinking he was making a smart choice. He kept a jar by the couch and grabbed a handful every day. But after a year of clean eating, he was shocked to learn his bone scans showed early signs of osteopenia, and he was starting to feel more fatigued during simple walks. How could that happen? He asked. His diet was full of greens, dairy, and supplements. But when his doctor asked about nuts, he mentioned his daily cashew habit, and that was the clue. Cashews were blocking his calcium and magnesium absorption without him even realizing it. He made a swap, almonds and chia for crunch, plus a little Brazil nut for selenium. 3 months later, his blood work showed improved mineral levels, and his legs didn't feel as heavy after long walks. The danger with cashews isn't in a few bites, it's in making them a regular habit. Because over time, the mineral deficiencies they caused can weaken bones, slow nerve function, and leave seniors vulnerable to fractures, cramps, and brain fog. And since they're soft, sweet, and satisfying, many older adults overeat them without realizing the risks. Cashews may taste like comfort, but for your bones, your nerves, and your long-term strength, they're quietly destructive. But the next nut might surprise you even more because it's often marketed as a keto-friendly super snack. But before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos like this. Number 2. Flavored or roasted packaged nuts. They look harmless. A little snack pouch with almonds, pecans, or mixed nuts labeled roasted, flavored, or glazed. Some even say keto or heart healthy on the bag. But for seniors over 65, these nuts are a metabolic disaster waiting to happen. The problem isn't the nut itself, it's what's done to it. Most flavored or roasted nuts are cooked in industrial seed oils like soybean, sunflower, or canola oil. Oils that are high in omega-6 fats, which fuel inflammation in the heart, brain, and joints. According to a 2022 clinical trial in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, seniors who consumed roasted and flavored nuts daily showed an 82% spike in CRP levels, a powerful marker of systemic inflammation, after just 2 weeks. Meet Linda, 66. She always kept a bag of honey-roasted peanuts in her purse. "It was my healthy treat," she said. She thought she was doing the right thing, replacing candy bars with nuts, cutting down on fried foods, and walking every morning. But over time, she noticed a change. Her knees were stiff, her ankles started to swell, and her morning walks left her unusually winded. Her doctor ordered blood work, and her inflammation markers were sky high. They couldn't figure it out until her nutritionist reviewed her food log. Those roasted peanuts, cooked in canola oil, loaded with added sugar and coated with preservatives. She switched to raw, unsalted almonds and walnuts. Within a month, her labs improved, the swelling faded, and she felt like her old self again. The truth is, even the best nuts become dangerous when they're roasted in cheap oils or flavored with maltodextrin, artificial sweeteners, and sodium additives. These ingredients may not show up in big numbers on a label, but over time, they destroy your metabolic balance. They promote belly fat storage, raise blood pressure, and overwhelm your body's ability to manage inflammation. And for seniors, especially those on medication for blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes, this is a hidden danger that accelerates aging from the inside out. So, if you're buying nuts in a bag with a flavor, a coating, or anything other than raw or dry roasted without oils, you may be turning a healthy snack into a toxic trigger. Always read the label, and if it lists seed oils, added sugars, or artificial ingredients, put it back. But none of these compare to the next one. The number one most dangerous nut for seniors is hiding in plain sight. and in a new clinical trial, it spiked inflammation markers by over 80% in just 14 days. Number 1. Walnuts. They're often praised as brain food, but for many seniors, walnuts can actually do more harm than good, especially when eaten the wrong way. While walnuts do contain omega-3s, they also have one of the highest omega-6 contents of any nut, and when not balanced properly, those omega-6 fats fuel chronic inflammation that attacks your joints, heart, and even memory. In fact, a study published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that adults with a high omega-6 to omega-3 ratio had a 78% increased risk of systemic inflammation, leading to faster aging, more joint pain, and cognitive decline. Meet Doris, 67. She started eating a big handful of walnuts every evening after reading an article that called them the best nut for aging brains. But within 2 months, she began waking up with swollen fingers, sore knees, and brain fog that left her forgetting why she walked into rooms. Her doctor said her CRP inflammation levels had spiked, and they couldn't figure out why, until the nutritionist looked at her food journal and saw the problem. Too many omega-6 rich walnuts, with no omega-3 sources to balance them out. Once she cut her walnut intake, added a little flax and fish oil, and switched to almonds instead, her swelling eased, her thinking cleared, and her energy returned. Walnuts are also often rancid by the time they hit the shelf, thanks to their fragile fats that oxidize quickly when exposed to air or heat. That oxidation can trigger cellular damage in the body, especially in older adults whose detox systems have slowed. Unless stored airtight in the fridge and eaten in tiny amounts with proper omega-3 balance, walnuts can tip your system into an inflammatory spiral fast. They may look healthy, but for seniors dealing with circulation issues, joint stiffness, or memory trouble, walnuts can quietly make things worse, not better. Now that you know the 4 nuts you should never touch, let's flip the script, because up next are the 4 nuts you must eat daily to strengthen your heart, reduce joint pain, and sharpen your brain after 65. Number 4. Brazil nuts. If you're over 65 and feeling foggy, sluggish, or dealing with thyroid issues, Brazil nuts might be the most powerful 2-bite solution you're not using. Just 2 Brazil nuts contain more than 100% of your daily selenium needs, a trace mineral that becomes critically important as we age. Selenium supports thyroid function, regulates immune response, and helps reduce oxidative stress, which is a key driver behind fatigue, muscle loss, and even memory problems. According to a study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, selenium supplementation in older adults improved cognitive performance by 28% and reduced inflammatory markers across multiple organ systems. Meet Stanley, 69. He started forgetting names, not big ones, just small slips, like the street he lived on for years or where he parked the car. His doctor checked for obvious causes, but nothing turned up. A friend suggested it might be nutritional, so Stanley sought a dietitian. She looked at his food log and asked one question: "Where are your selenium sources?" He had none. She introduced him to Brazil nuts, just 1 each morning. After a few weeks, he started feeling sharper. The brain fog lifted, and at his next checkup, his thyroid numbers had improved so much, his doctor adjusted his medication. Brazil nuts are also rich in magnesium, zinc, and vitamin E, all of which support nerve health, reduce leg cramps, and protect blood vessels. But the reason they're so uniquely powerful is because selenium is extremely hard to get from most diets, especially in seniors who eat less meat or rely on processed meals. The catch? You only need 1 or 2 per day. More than that can push your selenium too high. But just a couple of Brazil nuts daily act like a natural food-based multivitamin for your nerves, muscles, and mind. Tiny but mighty, Brazil nuts are one of the most strategic snacks you can add to your diet after 65. But this next one doesn't just help your brain. It actively repairs heart tissue and protects your joints. Number 3. Peanuts, yes, the right kind. Peanuts get a bad rap, and often for good reason. Most of the ones sold today are roasted in cheap oils, packed with salt, or loaded with sugar. But raw or dry roasted unsalted peanuts, when eaten in moderation, can be one of the most powerful muscle-saving, heart-protective foods for seniors. Peanuts are technically legumes, not true nuts, but they deliver over 25 grams of protein per 100 grams, plus a rich dose of niacin, folate, magnesium, and resveratrol, a compound also found in red wine that improves blood flow and brain health. In a study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who consumed peanuts or natural peanut butter regularly saw a 17% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, improved cholesterol ratios, and better cognitive performance compared to non-consumers. Meet Frank, 66. He was told to cut back on red meat and wanted a snack that could give him protein without weighing him down. He almost skipped peanuts after hearing they were bad, but a nutritionist showed him the difference between natural, dry-roasted peanuts and the overly processed kind. He started making a habit of spreading unsweetened peanut butter on apple slices and snacking on plain peanuts in the afternoon. Within a few weeks, he said his energy was steadier, his nighttime hunger was gone, and even his blood pressure readings started trending lower. Peanuts also contain arginine, an amino acid that helps relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and reduce the risk of blood clots, making them a smart choice for older adults concerned with stroke or leg swelling. They're also naturally high in monounsaturated fats, the same heart-healthy fats found in olive oil, which support cholesterol balance and reduce inflammation. But the key is in preparation. Skip anything flavored, salted, or oil roasted, and stick to raw or dry roasted with no added ingredients. Handled right, peanuts are a surprisingly powerful tool to build strength, protect your heart, and support healthy aging after 65. But the next one is even more surprising because it's soft, sweet, and might be the best nut for seniors with high blood pressure. Number 2. Almonds. If you're over 65 and worried about bone loss, blood sugar spikes, or brain fog, almonds should be a permanent fixture in your diet. Just a small handful delivers 6 grams of clean protein, plus a powerful mix of vitamin E, magnesium, calcium, and healthy fats that help stabilize everything from heart rhythm to memory retention. In fact, a 2021 study published in Frontiers in Nutrition found that seniors who ate almonds daily saw significant improvements in cognitive performance, reductions in LDL cholesterol, and improved blood flow to the brain, all within just 12 weeks. And unlike many snacks that spike blood sugar and fade fast, almonds keep your energy steady and your insulin stable. Meet Clara, 71. She was dealing with post-meal crashes that left her shaky, tired, and unable to focus in the afternoon. She thought it was just part of aging, but her granddaughter noticed she was reaching for crackers and cookies between meals and suggested something different, a few almonds. Clara was skeptical, but she started eating 10 to 15 raw almonds mid-morning with her tea. After 2 weeks, the crashes stopped. Her blood sugar stabilized, her focus returned, and she said she felt like her brain wasn't fighting her anymore. Almonds also support bone health, thanks to their natural calcium content, and their magnesium helps reduce leg cramps and support muscle function, especially at night. What makes them even more valuable is how versatile they are, blended into smoothies, sprinkled on salads, or eaten whole. The key is sticking to raw or dry roasted, unsalted almonds, since the flavored or sugary ones undo the benefits fast. With every crunch, almonds help reinforce your bones, protect your heart, and keep your mind sharp, making them one of the smartest daily habits a senior can have. But the next one, it's not just good, it's the most important nut on the list, backed by science so strong it's being used to reverse arterial damage in adults over 65. Number 1. Pistachios. If there's one nut that checks every box for seniors over 65, heart health, muscle strength, blood sugar control, brain clarity, and even circulation down there, it's pistachios. These vibrant green powerhouses are packed with 21 grams of plant-based protein per 100 grams, plus potassium, fiber, vitamin B6, and antioxidants that specifically target aging-related decline. But what truly makes pistachios stand out is their effect on arterial function and blood flow. A 2019 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults who consumed pistachios daily saw a 23% improvement in endothelial function, which means healthier blood vessels, better circulation, and a reduced risk of heart attacks, strokes, and even erectile dysfunction. Meet George, 74. He had always been active, but lately he'd been feeling slow, tired, and frustrated with his blood pressure. His doctor warned him that his arteries were stiffening and mentioned a medication increase. George asked if there was anything he could do with diet. His cardiologist smiled and said, "Eat pistachios." So George swapped his evening chips for a small handful of unsalted, in-shell pistachios. Within 3 weeks, his blood pressure dropped. A month later, he walked farther without fatigue. And after 2 months, he said, only half joking, "My circulation came back in every way." Pistachios also support glucose metabolism, making them a perfect choice for seniors managing prediabetes or insulin resistance. They contain arginine, which boosts nitric oxide production and helps relax blood vessels, improving oxygen delivery to muscles, joints, and the brain. And thanks to their fiber and plant sterols, they naturally lower bad cholesterol without any side effects. The act of shelling them even helps prevent overeating, turning snacking into a slow, mindful habit that satisfies without overloading calories. Out of all the nuts, pistachios are the most complete ally for seniors who want to stay sharp, mobile, and independent. They support your heart, your memory, your strength, and your energy, all in one crunchy, satisfying handful. Let's be real, not all nuts are created equal. If you're over 65, the right ones can help you walk stronger, think clearer, and feel younger. But the wrong ones, they quietly sabotage your health from the inside out. Now tell us in the comments, what nut do you eat the most, and did it make the good or bad list? We're replying to every single one. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more senior-focused health tips, and share this with someone over 65 who eats the wrong nuts every day without even knowing it. Because one handful a day could either be saving your heart or slowly breaking it. If you have any questions or want to share your own experiences, feel free to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.